My wife gave my promotion to her ex and made me take the fall for his mistakes. My wife gave my achievements to her childhood sweetheart and dumped his failures on me. Fine. I decided to let them have each other. Within a month, her ex embezzled company funds and fled the country. My wife came crawling back, begging for forgiveness. I turned and walked away without hesitation. Please, I'm not that stupid. Chapter 1. Morning, Mr. Mitchell. Congratulations. Morning. Mr. Mitchell, congrats. Thanks. Employees greeted me one by one, unable to hide their joy. Today was the VP election, and everyone believed I was the obvious choice. I was in excellent spirits until Monica announced the results. I hereby declare that Daniel Mitchell has been caught falsifying votes. All his votes are invalidated. The VP position goes to the runner-up. Monica looked at me with contempt, her voice crystal clear in the silent conference room. I shot up from my seat, staring at the screen in disbelief. My name was at the top of the rankings. The person accusing me of fraud was my wife. Why? But no matter how I raged internally, the decision was final. As CEO, she had the ultimate say. And the runner-up was her childhood friend, Ryan Pierce. Ryan stood up under Monica's gentle gaze to give his acceptance speech. I watched him deliver his victory speech in the spotlight. Monica's expression held a tenderness I hadn't seen in years. My heart sank like a stone, drowning in despair. Just moments ago, I'd watched my vote count climb steadily, thinking this was my wife's anniversary gift. 10 years ago, I'd turned down lucrative overseas offers to support her startup. I'd helped build this company, grown with it every step of the way. I knew everything about this company, understood every process, had trained every employee. I'd poured my heart and soul into this place. I thought this promotion was guaranteed. Even now, I clung to the desperate hope this was just a cruel joke. But reality slapped me hard, shattering my pathetic illusions. I'd lost a newcomer who'd been here less than a year. I probably lost the moment Ryan appeared. Only now, after this massive blow, did I realize it. Monica's impatient voice cut through. Daniel Mitchell. Spacing out at a time like this? Falsifying VP votes, did you think I wouldn't do anything about it? I snapped back to find everyone's eyes on me. Some sympathetic, some gloating, some pitying, and a few openly hostile. Those few had always clashed with me. Seeing this, they immediately piled on. Doesn't Mr. Mitchell have anything to say about using such underhanded tactics? Right, these methods are beneath contempt. Ms. Chen shouldn't show favoritism because of personal relationships. He should apologize to Mr. Pierce. I ignored these troublemakers and looked at Monica. What about you? Do you want me to apologize too? Monica avoided my gaze. They're right. An apology is nothing. As long as you sincerely apologize to Ryan, I'll let this go. My reputation was at stake, yet she said it was nothing. She wanted me to apologize to the usurper. I finally saw clearly this whole election was rigged, just an excuse to promote Ryan. If Monica really wanted to promote me, she wouldn't need this elaborate charade. We'd founded this company together. If she wanted to promote me, it would take one word. But Ryan had no experience, no skills. A lazy pretty boy couldn't lead by example or command respect. Lacking qualifications, they conspired to frame me, ruining my reputation so Ryan could step on me to climb up. I wanted to ask Monica, what about my 10 years of dedication? What about our relationship? Did they mean less than one Ryan Pierce? Finally, I forced a bitter smile. Apologize? For what? Monica, seeing me dare talk back, erupted. For your dirty tricks. Daniel Mitchell, I'm giving you one last chance, either apologize publicly or pack your things and leave. So much for dirty tricks. I pushed down my heartbreak and lingering attachment. Fine. I quit. Chapter 2. My words fell into sudden silence. Everyone stared at me in disbelief. Monica's expression froze. Only Ryan showed a faint smile. Monica stammered, what did you say? I said, I quit. With that, I stood and headed for the door without looking back. Monica shouted angrily, Daniel Mitchell. You'll regret walking out that door. My steps faltered slightly, heartbroken. But I didn't turn around. Seeing I wouldn't stop, Monica grew even angrier, yelling at my back, you do the crime but can't do the time, pathetic. You've disappointed me so much. Walk out that door and never come back. Don't worry, I definitely won't be back. With Ryan as my boss now, any achievements would be his, any mistakes mine. With leadership like that, what future did the company have? Staying would only mean paving the way for others and taking the fall. I returned home exhausted, the house we'd lived in for over 10 years. Opening the door, the motion sensor light automatically turned on. The table held decorations we'd made together. Half a wall was covered with our photos. Soft sunlight fell on the sofa. I seemed to see Monica smiling and waving, you're back. Tired? Monica and I had been together for 20 years, including dating. For 20 years, we'd been the couple everyone envied. She used to be so gentle, her whole heart devoted to me. Whenever I came home drunk, she'd wait on the sofa with stomach medicine and hangover soup. When she couldn't stay awake, she'd doze on the sofa with her head propped up. In those moments, happiness felt like a physical thing piercing my chest. No matter what setbacks I faced outside, it was worth it. Any difficulty could be overcome. Because in all the city lights, one lamp was lit for me. Someone was waiting for me to come home. I felt blessed to have such a gentle, caring wife. I was glad I'd given up the overseas opportunity. But everything changed when Ryan appeared a year ago. She became impatient with me, started avoiding me. She avoided physical contact at work, even when no one was watching. She stopped commuting with me. At night, she'd clutch her phone texting. Whenever I asked, it was work. Ask too many times and she'd get angry, accusing me of not trusting her. Until that time I'd worked nonstop for a month and collapsed from exhaustion, burning with fever. She didn't care, took a call and left. My assistant ended up taking me to the hospital. Later I learned Ryan had gotten drunk that day and called saying he wanted to see her. That's when I realized I'd become someone's thorn in the side. When Monica's attitude softened a month ago, I was thrilled, thinking she'd finally come to her senses and realized who truly loved her. Turns out her kindness was just manipulation. I went to the study and placed the divorce papers in the living room. We'd get divorced when she came back. I'd prepared the papers long ago but couldn't bring myself to use them, wanting to give her one more chance. But Monica didn't come home that night. She didn't return until the next day. I opened the door to find Monica outside, face flushed, lips curved in a gentle smile, on the phone. I'm home. Yes, I know. Don't worry. Bye. Seeing me, her smile vanished. What are you standing there for? Ryan's not even angry anymore. Are you still sulking? I've never seen someone so petty. She tossed her coat at me while scolding. For years, I'd hung up her coat and found her slippers. She'd long taken it for granted. But now I didn't move, letting the coat fall to the floor. I stared at the red mark on her neck, my heart completely dead. Monica, let's get divorced. Chapter 3. The living room air instantly froze. Monica's angry voice shattered the silence. How long are you going to throw this tantrum? It's just a position. When did you become so petty and unreasonable? And here I was thinking of compensating you. She pulled out an elaborately wrapped gift box and threw it on the floor, storming into the bedroom and locking the door. As if I was the villain and she was the victim. This scene had replayed countless times over the past year. After Ryan joined the company, Monica focused on me. To promote Ryan, she transferred my client relationships to him, claiming to lighten my load. I refused to hand over clients not just because I'd fought tooth and nail for those accounts, but because Ryan, that incompetent pretty boy, knew nothing about business. Monica said matter-of-factly, what's the point of you then? You're experienced at training newbies. If he doesn't know, teach him. The result? Ryan didn't want to learn, just wanted to coast. In 1 year, he'd blown several contracts and lost millions in business. Forget profits, we only avoided losses thanks to my performance. When year-end came, all the blame fell on Mezamething about teachers being responsible for their students. At home, knowing she was wrong, she'd use these trinkets to compensate me. When I was deeply in love, these were trivial matters I'd never care about. We were family. I knew about her childhood bond with Ryan. For her sake, I could endure. But now she'd completely broken my heart. Staying out all night, and like this, watch a cheap trinket given to employees at the annual party. Everyone got one, worth less than $100. I'd overheard employees complaining the company had gotten stingy. Ryan had handled the purchase. Seeing the tacky design, I could almost picture his fake smile. Was my pain worth so little to her? Bitterness rose in my throat. I picked up the watch and tossed it in the trash before storming out. Morning was spent with lawyers, afternoon at the office processing my resignation. The HR director looked at my resignation letter in disbelief. Mr. Mitchell, you're joking, right? Everyone knew we'd founded the company together as husband and wife. They'd seen how much we'd both invested. That's why this seemed so unbelievable to them. I nodded calmly, not joking. Process it. The sympathy in her eyes cut like a knife. After signing, Ryan somehow heard and came to intercept me. With Monica absent, he was now in charge. He put on his CEO airs, patronizingly reaching to pat my shoulder. Daniel Mitchell, don't leave. After all these years, even without achievements, you've worked hard. I won't pursue your wrongdoing. He emphasized your wrongdoing, as if he could really pin the blame on me while he played the victim who'd overcome adversity. My teeth ached with rage. My clenched fist almost flew at his face. I took a deep breath, ignored him, and headed for the door. But Ryan persisted. Wait, your resignation hasn't been approved. Even if you're leaving, you need to hand over your work properly. Make a client list, then take me to visit each one, telling them we've changed account managers. Chapter 4. So that was his game. After all that talk, he had no skills and wanted my client list to enjoy the fruits of my labor. I couldn't help but sneer. Why should I? These clients were relationships I'd maintained by drinking with them all night until I had stomach bleeding. He wanted them just like that. Did he think that by conspiring with Monica to push me out, I'd hand everything over? Keep dreaming. Ryan's smug expression faltered. He probably hadn't expected my refusal, but instead of anger, he looked at me mockingly. Then a familiar voice came from behind. Because I say so. It's company property. It was Monica. She was at the office but hadn't bothered with my resignation, immediately speaking up for Ryan instead. Monica's face was cold as she clicked over in her heels, standing between Ryan and me, commanding icily. Daniel Mitchell, since you don't want to work here, I won't stop you. Leave if you want, go home and rest. But for the company's development, you must give the client list to Ryan. It belongs to the company. I looked at her familiar face, feeling utterly desolate. The wife who'd cared for me, loved me, was gone. Now she felt like a complete stranger. I laughed bitterly, asking one more time with my last shred of hope, why? Monica looked annoyed, clearly impatient, her words dripping with sarcasm, because these are company connections. You only got where you are by relying on the company. Monica said contemptuously, can't you even understand that? I really regret my past choices. Huh, I regret my past choices too. I sneered, no longer compliant, raising my voice for the first time, fine, then let him walk the same path I did. Let him experience working non-stop without rest, being stood up and still having to smile, drinking to close deals. He can't stop until he's hospitalized with stomach bleeding. Want to freeload? Want me to hand over my list to your lover and hold his hand through everything? Are you out of your mind? Slap. The moment I finished, Monica's slap landed on my face. She trembled with rage, pointing at me furiously, shut up. What nonsense are you spouting? Monica spoke through gritted teeth, each word squeezed out, her voice full of disgust and venom, it's just a position. You've been throwing tantrums since yesterday, so pathetic. Having you transfer work is to reduce your stress. Your mind is filthy, so you assume everyone else is too. Ryan watched the show from the sidelines. Seeing us fight brought him obvious pleasure. He fanned the flames, don't be angry. He's not worth it. How can he not understand your good intentions? My cheek burned with pain, and I tasted blood with my tongue. Fortunately, physical pain made the heartache bearable. After so many years together, I knew this was Monica's guilty conscience showing she was afraid. But I never thought she'd hit me for Ryan. Was she afraid I'd expose their dirty secret? It didn't matter anymore. I wiped my cheek with the back of my hand and pulled out the divorce papers from my briefcase. Don't you want the client list? Sign this. Without your signature, you won't see a single word. I threw the divorce papers at Monica's feet. Let's see if you, someone who only knows how to throw money at projects plus this pretty boy, can close any deals. Oh, and a reminder, better practice your alcohol tolerance. Don't drink yourselves to death. Chapter 5. I wasn't trying to scare them. I'd experienced it firsthand. Monica knew too. One project's investor was an alcoholic whose first requirement was holding your liquor. I forced myself through stomach pain to drink him under the table. That night an ambulance took me to the hospital. It took over 6 months to partially recover. Let's see if he could meet those clients' requirements. They heard my words but showed no fear. They exchanged glances and burst out laughing. Ryan picked up the divorce papers and handed them to Monica. You really think you're something, Daniel Mitchell. You need to drink to get things done because you're incompetent. You can only drink. Ryan continued, I'm not stupid like you. With enough money and profit, there's no drinking culture. Just wait and cry. Monica never needed a drunk, she needed someone who could fight for her in business. Monica laughed too, you're too full of yourself. She took a pen from a nearby desk and signed her name on the divorce papers. Smooth and decisive. Clearly, she'd lost all feelings for me long ago. Despite expecting this, watching her sign so easily still sent waves of pain through me. She handed back the signed papers. Seeing me staring at her, Monica's eyes flashed with guilt. What are you looking at? You have no ability, no experience. Ivy regretted marrying you for a long time. You should be grateful I gave you shares before. Otherwise, you'd be living on the streets soon. She grew more self-righteous, as if today's success was me depending on her, not the other way around. Evil people always find perfect excuses for their actions. She'd fallen for someone else, yet acted like I was at fault. You'd think I was the cheater. She said I always opposed her at work and never gave her enough emotional support at home. But those were originally her mistakes. We managed a large company with hundreds of employees. She made decisions based on personal preference, only caring about her comfort, not employee welfare. She blindly followed investment trends, easily influenced, not caring about returns or whether the company functioned properly. If I'd joined her approach, we might as well close the company and let everyone scatter. Seeing her attitude, my heart froze over. I felt unworthy. Unworthy of my judgment and my wholehearted dedication all these years. Since she thought Ryan, fresh from overseas, was more capable than me. Fine. Hope he doesn't try to handle American business relationships with European etiquette. Otherwise, he's in for a rough time. Monica signed the divorce papers. I kept my promise. And gave them my client list. As for personally introducing Ryan? Impossible. I gave them the list. Who clients chose to work with was up to them. Didn't Monica say I only succeeded by relying on the company? Let her see how I achieved my success. With New Year approaching, I didn't hesitate. I found a new place and moved out. The following week, I prepared thoughtful gifts as usual and personally delivered them to business partners. This was essential networking, and a chance to explain my resignation. On the third afternoon visiting a company president, I encountered an unexpected guest. Housekeeper, Mr. Harrison, there's a Mr. Thompson outside claiming to be your business partner wanting to meet. I was having tea with Harrison. I could guess who it was. I deliberately checked my watch. Harrison, you have a guest. I won't intrude. Let's catch up at dinner sometime. Hey. Harrison waved dismissively. Daniel, don't go. Since you're here, stay for a drink. Mr. Thompson? Never heard of him. Tell him I'm busy, come another day. For these New Year visits delivering gifts, I always timed them carefully. Otherwise, running into others would inconvenience the host and make you look clueless. So Ryan really was stupidly unaware. The housekeeper left with instructions. I expected Ryan to be stupid, but not this stupid. When the host clearly said no visitors, he actually forced his way in. Chapter 6. Ryan barged in shouting, "I just need to see Mr. Harrison," as the housekeeper failed to stop him. Entering the living room and seeing me, his eyes nearly popped out. He barely stopped himself from pointing and exclaiming. He had some manners, but not many. Ryan composed himself and pulled out a card and coffee beans from his pocket, placing them on the table with a smile. "Mr. Harrison, I'm here to wish you an early Happy New Year. A small token of appreciation." I was stunned. Then, as I watched in amazement, Ryan sat down. He sat without waiting for Harrison's invitation. Sure enough, Harrison's face darkened. He must have been restraining himself not to throw him out immediately. Coming in and immediately offering a red envelope, with such poor manners. Classic Ryan. Didn't he know to be subtle, to package things properly? Did he do any research? Harrison didn't drink coffee. This coal industry tycoon loved collecting rare teas and calligraphy. That the persistence pays off scroll in Harrison's study was an original I'd driven 200 miles to obtain from a master calligrapher. "Harrison, and you are?" Ryan, oblivious, thought Harrison was asking his name. He cheerfully extended his hand. "Thompson's the name, but I'm Ryan Pierce, VP of Sterling Corporation. I'll be handling our partnership going forward." He even poured himself tea, wetting his throat before continuing. "I see Mr. Mitchell is here too. He must have told you about his resignation." Looking at me, Ryan's eyes held a threatening gleam, as if afraid I'd badmouth him. Harrison nodded thoughtfully, looking at me with a chuckle. "No wonder you're going solo, friend. Your company has produced quite a character." I smiled without responding. Ryan thought it was praise, smugly glancing at me. "You flatter me, Mr. Harrison." Harrison burst out laughing. We both laughed for a while. Ryan, not understanding, awkwardly laughed along. Harrison wiped tears from laughing and said to me, "Since he's from your company, I won't make things difficult. Let's follow protocol. What do you think?" I smiled at Harrison. "Thank you, Harrison." Ryan looked confused, thinking we were speaking in code. But soon he'd understand. Harrison had the housekeeper bring 2 bottles of liquor and some burly security guards. Harrison smiled. "Cold weather calls for warming drinks." Ryan froze, feeling his refined overseas education being challenged. He seemed stunned by Harrison's approach, looking embarrassed. "Mr. Harrison, I'm from Sterling." Harrison interrupted. "That's why I reduced it by 1 bottle. I admire people who can drink. Finish these and we're friends. How about it, young Mr. Pierce?" With that, he sat back sipping tea, ignoring Sterling and chatting with me instead. Harrison was one of the most important clients on the list I'd given Ryan. Many deals came through his introductions. A true major client. Anyone with half a brain wouldn't send an idiot like this. I'd faced this situation before, but I hadn't offended Harrison and decisively finished a bottle of liquor, earning some respect. Now Ryan faced these choices. I was genuinely curious what he'd choose. After a long moment, just as Harrison grew impatient, Ryan finally decided. He pointed at the liquor, glaring at me resentfully, as if forced into prostitution, fine, I'll drink. Chapter 7. Drinking is drinking. Why look at me like I'm your enemy? Did he think Harrison's challenge was my idea? Well, yes. I had mentioned that Chinese business culture involved drinking and mutual respect. I looked at him with amusement. "Mr. Pierce can't handle it?" "Harrison, if not, leave quickly. Don't waste my time." Ryan finally gave in to pressure, opened the bottle, and forced down 2 gulps. Pfft. Cough, cough, cough. Just 2 sips and Ryan was coughing violently, disappointing me greatly. He spit out more than he swallowed. Useless. Harrison waved dismissively. "Forget it. Don't have an incident at my place. I can't afford that. Show him out." Security immediately grabbed Ryan and headed for the door. Ryan was dumbfounded, struggling and shouting, "Mr. Harrison, what's this about? I drank. You can't do this." Harrison waved impatiently for security to hurry up, and throw out what he brought too. Ryan was thrown out. His parting glare looked like he wanted to devour me alive. How speechless. His own stupidity had triggered someone's pet peeves, blown himself up, and he blamed me? With his idiotic behavior, not getting beaten was only because of my face. Some people are determined to self-destruct. I can't save them. After the unwelcome guest left, Harrison had the housekeeper mop where he'd stood 3 times. Then said meaningfully, "Sterling's ship has lost its captain. It's heading for the rocks. Our partnership has better prospects. If you need anything, just ask." I smiled. "Definitely. I'll need your continued support." New Year approached day by day. I'd been busy establishing my new company, barely touching ground. So despite being alone, the holiday felt fulfilling. For the first time, I discovered living for myself was so relaxing and energizing. Though there was one small incident. Right after New Year, Monica came charging over to accuse me. Her first words were baffling. "Monica, Daniel Mitchell, are you even a man? We're divorced. Can't we part amicably? Why target Ryan? Target him? Sorry, I'm not that idle." Was she talking about Harrison's place? But to someone in love, even with lover's brain, any explanation would be an excuse. She only believed what she wanted. So I moved to close the door, not wanting to waste words. But Monica persisted, blocking the door. "What? Guilty? I knew you were spreading rumors, saying Ryan targeted you, saying he doesn't deserve the VP position. I'm telling you, you'd better explain to every client." Otherwise, I have ways to take back your shares. Still accusations, throwing blame at me without asking for the truth, wanting me to explain. Was she still dreaming? We were divorced. And why did she think I'd still obey her? Looking at Monica forcing her way in, I laughed in exasperation. Didn't Ryan tell you about randomly stuffing red envelopes? Barging into people's homes, slapping cards on the table, not getting beaten was lucky. Isn't he more capable, more experienced, more mature than me? Then let him solve it. Why come to me? Chapter 8. Monica's face flashed with embarrassment. Apparently she knew Ryan had messed up. She wasn't completely ignorant. But for nearly a year, she'd looked down on me, speaking only in commanding tones. This made her unable to face reality. Monica, I don't care. You prepare gifts right now and take Ryan to visit those clients. This is your unfinished work transfer. You must do it. I was tired of hearing this. Too lazy to argue, she was beyond help. I waved dismissively, pushed her out, and gave final advice. If you have time, manage the company better. Otherwise it's doomed. With that, I slammed the door. Let Monica yell outside all she wanted. I ignored her. I'd said everything that needed saying. Whether she listened wasn't my concern. I'd done more than enough. When busy, time slips through fingers like sand, half gone before you notice. A month later, my company officially opened. The opening ceremony drew many familiar faces. Besides Harrison and other friendly clients, former Sterling employees came too. Sterling employees came not just to celebrate but to express interest in joining. They were my former direct reports. I was happy to have them. Jumping from a 10-year-old established company to a startup showed their trust in me. Later they told me they'd long been fed up with Thompson. Sterling's success today, even without credit, I had worked hard, truly leading them. But Ryan? He did nothing but talk. HR asked him to select new hire, she passed it off. Terrible workability, nowhere to be found in crises. Might not come to the office twice a month. Useless rules kept coming, but bonuses disappeared, as if making rules was the only way to show authority. Monica only knew to favor Ryan indiscriminately. Everyone had long been complaining. I was gratified. After selling Sterling shares, I had ample funds. I couldn't disappoint these employees. I immediately offered 1.5 times their previous salary. With Harrison and other client support, plus a group of familiar, well-coordinated old friends, I was confident the company would grow, just a matter of time. Sure enough, within a year of opening, we landed major contracts consecutively. Profits soared. Pure profit nearly matched Sterling's year-and-a-half earnings. Meanwhile, Sterling clients canceled contracts. Employees quit in droves. Only Monica and Ryan's connections remained. Looking around, nothing but relatives and friends. In 1 year, they'd become generals without armies. A company developed over 10 years became precarious after one spring, on the verge of bankruptcy. Anyone would find it incredible. But I'd expected it. Monica never did risk assessment for investments, throwing money at whatever caught her eye, regardless of profitability. When I was there, to protect her pride, I only discussed things gently and could cover for her. Sometimes even turning profits. After I left, all her flaws were exposed. Ryan was all talk, no substance. Sterling's bankruptcy was just a matter of time. I stopped paying attention to Sterling, focusing entirely on my own company. I'd warned Monica. Since Sterling's boss wouldn't listen, I couldn't be blamed. 3 months later, after seeing off a client one afternoon, I unexpectedly met Monica at my company entrance. Monica looked terrible, nothing like her previous superior self. She appeared haggard, her usually smooth hair looked frizzy, bloodshot eyes with dark circles underneath. She used to carefully coordinate outfits for every outing. Today she looked carelessly thrown together. Seeing me, Monica immediately fell to her knees, crawling forward to grab my legs, face pitiful. Honey, I was wrong, really wrong. Please forgive me. She cried miserably. After you left, I realized Sterling's success was largely your achievement. I wrongly accused you. I shouldn't have lost my mind and framed you. It was all Ryan. He bewitched me. Said he'd learned the best management concepts abroad, kept saying you were undermining me. Honey, I really know where I went wrong. I'm sorry. I realize I can't live without you. Please help me. Let's remarry, okay? Chapter 9. Monica clung to my legs, sobbing about her past foolishness, promising never to repeat it. I shook off her hands, stepping back to create distance. Forgiving her now would betray my past self. If she'd known this would happen, why do it? Calling me honey now? Too late. I sneered, exposing her facade. You really can't live without me? If you couldn't, why sign the divorce so readily? Do you miss me or miss having someone to work like a slave? Monica collapsed on the ground, face white. I looked down at her. Want my help? Fine. 3 million for your Sterling shares. With that money, if you learn restraint, it's enough for a comfortable life. How about it? Monica's face turned ashen, still struggling. You know Sterling's situation best. 3 million is extortion. I smiled. 2.5 million. Monica choked. You. I shrugged indifferently. Don't want to sell. I won't force you. She was right. I understood Sterling's situation better than anyone. Monica had no choice but to accept my offer. And I knew why Monica regretted so much. After Ryan repeatedly failed with clients and realized he couldn't handle such a large company, he decided to embezzle Sterling's assets. Monica noticed nothing. Ryan successfully transferred the assets away. So she didn't really regret anything. She came begging for forgiveness only because she'd been scammed and had no choice. Sterling was now an empty shell. Her shares only gave her a CEO title. Sounded nice but meant nothing. Sure enough, as I turned to leave, Monica gritted her teeth and accepted my acquisition offer. Monica reluctantly accepted $2.5 million and demanded I find Ryan. I nodded casually, laughing inside. Ryan had fled abroad. Even police couldn't reach him. What could I do? I couldn't bring him back, but I'd reported and frozen Ryan's assets the day before he fled. Wonder what he thought seeing his frozen accounts abroad. Didn't matter. Monica's future wasn't my concern anymore. I'd spent half my life seeing someone clearly, getting rid of the vampire like Monica. That was good too. Only now did I understand loving others requires loving yourself first. Fortunately, it wasn't too late to understand. The end.